60 Minutes Overtime.
Our story this week on 60 Minutes is about how drones are transforming warfare and how in Ukraine drones have transformed the battlefield there. The producer on our story this week is Erin Lyle. Erin and I were there in the lead up to that invasion. And when the war started, it was really about trench warfare. In fact, a lot of people were comparing it to World War I, but that's now changed. The front line in Ukraine has been expanded to what they call the kill zone. It's at least 10 miles wide. And if you're anywhere in that kill zone, then you are at risk of being hunted down and killed by a drone. Yep. But also what we've seen in Ukraine is how important ground drones and sea drones are. The Ukrainians have used sea drones extremely effectively. They can take out Russian warships that cost tens of millions of dollars to make. Really good drone operators like yourself are a target for assassination.
Yeah, even we remotely drive the drones. We think it's almost like a safe for us to be remotely, but it's not the deal.
Is this factory a target for the Russians?
Yeah, definitely, 100%.
It could get bombed at any time.
Yeah.
Vitaly Kolesnichenko founded a drone company called Airlogics, and they make high-tech aerial surveillance drones for the Ukrainian military.
They've been used all over the front line, helping our guys to identify and destroy the enemy targets.
Vitaly talked about being in a drone arms race with Russia, and there being enormous pressure to innovate. Drone technology is a bit like fast fashion. Zara or H&M, they make a new design and they have to have it on the rack in 2 weeks. Drone technology is like that.
Every month we need, even a couple weeks maybe, we need to iterate because it's a cat-mouse game. And this key is not like, one step ahead, but like breakthrough, like many, many steps ahead.
So many of our sources told us that the next big breakthrough that they expect to see on the battlefield is swarm technology.
The integration of artificial intelligence is a key thing we're seeing.
We spoke to Captain Ronan Sefton. He's part of a US military task force that has the job of learning lessons from the Ukrainian battlefield.
What is swarm technology?
It's debated often as to what that actually means, but it's really just a lot of drones working together at one time. And you're taking away a cognitive load from, say, a pilot, and one person might be able to control many drones.
So it's like drones working together, like a swarm of bees.
Exactly.
Pretty scary.
It is scary, absolutely.
I think most people we spoke to in the making of this story are fascinated to see how artificial intelligence and drones are going to develop together in the future. But they also see that there are ethical questions there. What you'll hear from the Ukrainian military and the US military is that when it comes to targeting, there needs to be a human in that decision chain. It can't be that artificial intelligence is deciding who to target. Of course, we don't know if that's going to be the case for other countries. William McNulty and Lenore Carafa, they have set up an investment fund that specializes in Ukrainian drone technology.
So we do have AI autonomy on many of these systems. For the most part, it is, there's an individual drone operator. The drone locks onto its target, and at that point is able to do that last mile targeting autonomously. Once you take that human out of the loop, and the human is no longer making decisions about what the target is, that is truly terrifying.
But is that where this technology is heading?
There is a possibility that that's where that technology is heading. That is not technology that we would support.
Because you have robots making the decisions.
Correct.
Like one of my fears of a really insidious weapon system would be a missile flying over Kyiv. Instead of dropping cluster munitions, spitting out drones that are then going to hunt anything that moves.
We still expect one big thing, that's coordinated attack, swarm of drones. one operator running several drones, and they would interact between themselves.
Oleksandr Kamyshin was recruited by Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky to become the architect of Ukraine's drone program. For the Ukrainians, there still needs to be a human being in that decision chain deciding who or what is being targeted. Is there a point in the future when humans will be outside that process?
I don't know.
What about Russia?
They're a strong competitor.
So whichever country starts effectively using swarms of drones is going to have a massive advantage.
In my belief, yes.
How close are you to getting there?
Both countries are close. None got there yet.
It sounds like the Cold War.
No, it's a hot war.